Okay. Maybe next time we put wax paper.
No, wax paper, remember it stayed stuck with it.
So it would have to be paper. We have the silicone.
Honestly, the silicone's going to be the best. Because this rip is ripping too.
That's what about that silicone roll.
Okay.
Last time I did that, I had to run some water on it.
Yeah. Well, that kind of defeats the freezing purpose, you know what I mean?
Well, I just put them in there so that it would spoil.
No, I mean, freeze dryer. You gotta freeze them first, so.
You don't have to.
Well, if you don't, it takes quite long.
If you can't get them open.
Ow!
Just take a hot water in a sprayer and spritz it so it doesn't completely thaw and break them off.
Okay.
Maybe you try that.
Okay.
So last year, Mom had picked these out of our garden, and she went ahead and layered them with this plastic wrap, and it was fine. It wasn't sticking too terribly bad, but it was definitely ripping apart in between the frozen layers of tomatoes. I personally would suggest doing, like if you have silicone that are cut down to the pan size or whatever, I would suggest doing that, or probably parchment paper. We're going to try that out next and see if that worked better, because we did wax paper the last time and that one did not work. It actually stuck to the tomatoes really bad. But see, like this one, it's got a nice little glassy look on it, but at least it's not sticking to the tomato. And as they thawed out just a little bit, they did start popping off quite a bit easier. So yeah, now I'm moving and shaking and I'm able to get those cracked and getting them loosened up from that plastic wrap, and it's going a whole lot easier. Man, I wish you could smell these. They look so good. They smell even better. And with these, we did not peel the skin off. These are the ones with a little bit of green in them. We got them from Baker Creek. I'm not sure what kind they are. And then I believe the other one's a beefsteak. But Mom just sliced them and like I said, left the skin on and then layered them between plastic wrap and put them in the freezer. Like these were out of our garden last year, and we just didn't get to them. So we figured we'd do this, but it took a lot longer than we thought. I'm only here on the weekends, so we pre-froze them and stacked them up pretty good. Here you can see how they're all layered and everything. I didn't want to get them too tall, but that was the one whole tray, so I thought that'd be fine. So go ahead, load up the trays and go ahead and close the door and lock the seal. We're going to get that done.
And hit start. Make sure that is closed. It usually tells you up here. This is pre-frozen. It's 63 degrees in here. It's got to cool down to 32. Come on back and we will see you in a minute.
One eternity later. $24, 47 minutes for a full run. Once it's done, you can go ahead and open this valve up. You want to make sure there's no water in there. You might have to pick it up and whatnot, but you want to drain it extremely slow, because if not, it's going to, like if you just open it up really quick and there is water in that tube, it's going to throw it on, suck back into the chamber and throw it on all your perfectly dried food. Once you have all the pressure released, you can go ahead and open this up, and if you have a moisture meter and you trust it, go ahead and use it. This is the first time I've ever used this one. It's got the two little prongs on there that's supposed to be able to tell, and I went ahead and, I tried it and it said there was zero moisture, but just to be on the safe side, I went ahead and felt everything. If it still has any water in there, it'll be cool or cold to the touch, and that means you just need to add more time and run it a few more hours to get that out. Once your food is completely dry, it also feels so weird. The texture, it's like foam. Look how pretty this tomato is. But it's just like styrofoam. Once you've got it all dry, you're good to go. And there's the iconic thumbs up. Once it's all dry, go ahead and remove it from the freeze dryer. Now, I do want to let you know, in humid places, you are going to want to work fast in getting this sealed up and put away, because we live in Missouri and it is hotter than homemade sin, and it is humid, and the humidity is going to basically seep into your food and add that moisture back. One time we freeze dried taffy, and saltwater taffy, I think is what it was, and within an hour we let it sit on the counter because we were just enjoying it for ourselves, and yeah, within an hour it disintegrated like you would if you sprayed cotton candy with water. Right now I'm getting a bowl of water, and I put about a tablespoon of water in the bottom of the bowl, and I'm going to take one of these bigger tomatoes and drop it in there so it can absorb and rehydrate, so I can show you guys kind of what that looks like. Yeah, you can barely see the water in there, but I went ahead and just dropped one of those tomatoes in there, and you can see it's already absorbing quite a bit. Maybe less than a tablespoon is what you want to start out with, but I'm going to set that off to the side so we can go ahead and work fast to get these taken care of before they turn to mush because of the humidity. So this has been sitting about 10 minutes. As you can see, it doesn't have the best texture. The skin is still completely intact. I'm really glad we went ahead and went with powder, since we're going to be doing like soups and like sauces and stuff like that. Mom tasted it and said it tasted like a stewed tomato, so you definitely want to doctor it up unless you're into stewed tomatoes. I mean, if that's your thing, go for it.
I went ahead and wrote on here 2021 tomatoes because that's when we grew them, but we freeze dried and powdered them on 6/26/22. So I looked it up and saw how long powdered tomatoes were when they're freeze dried and packaged in a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber, and it said 10 to 15 years. So I went ahead and just went 15 and said use before June 2037, unless something really happens and the poo hits the fan, we should use it before then, but that's what I went ahead and put on the package. So we're just going to go ahead and seal it. And on here, this dial, it goes all the way up to 8, but 7 is where Harvest Right suggests to have it dialed so that way it seals the Mylar bags. I honestly have never sealed really anything else, but I mean, I sealed these plastics, so the oxygen absorber comes in this, and it was a big bag, so originally I sealed it there because I had cut it up here, but then I cut it on the side right here whenever I just reopened it. Oh, and I put an oxygen absorber in here. I guess I didn't get that on video, but then I went ahead and resealed it. I see right there there's a little air leaking out. I'm gonna reseal that again. Looks like it sealed all the way to the other seal line, so yeah, we're good. All right, so you just line it up there and then press it down, and that light goes off when it's done. And so it's sealed right there. So right here, if you, oops, it's hot. Like you can open it a little bit, but then right there's where that seal goes through. Boom, tomato powder.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might enjoy this video and watching us take the tomatoes from this to this. If you have any questions about freeze drying, please let us know in the comments, or if you have any ideas of what we should freeze dry next, please let us know. But thank you for hanging out with us. Take care. God bless.